Next game in our progression is Oklahoma at Kansas.
Yeah, baby.
One of, I believe this was somebody's upset in the offseason.
I was hoping Jalon Daniels would start at quarterback in this game, but
right, yeah, that's the kind of catch to this game. Now, first of all, I should go through the series because it's fascinating. It's a series that's obviously favored Oklahoma. Kansas, the last win over Oklahoma was in 1997. However, since Lance Leipold is now the head coach of Kansas, they lost by 12 and they lost by 10 to Oklahoma. You may remember the game 2 years ago where it seemed like more fans were coming into the stadium as the game went on because Kansas was in the mix of a potential upset over Oklahoma. But I think that's the storyline for this game. You know, we go back to last week, Oklahoma's defense, they gave up 397 yards. 317 of that came on 11 plays. So basically, it was a lot of big plays for UCF last week. If they can control that against Kansas, Oklahoma should be in good shape. The question, of course, for Kansas is whether or not Jalon Daniels plays. Is it Jason Bean? I think Jason Bean is very good, but I think Jalon Daniels is just a different player. So I think Oklahoma has to do a better job of cleaning up the big plays on defense, and we'll see. All signs point to Jason Bean starting with Jalon. We'll see what Jalon Daniels if he's able to go at all on Saturday.
I know Lance Leipold said this week that Jason Bean's probably going to start. I would assume that that's what's going to happen. It's unfortunate just for college football fans that Jalon Daniels doesn't start this game because, again, it's a 10-point spread with the backup quarterback. So Vegas is telling you Kansas is going to play very well in this game. Here's the question, though, I think ultimately, and it's all about styles make fights in this one. The defense for Kansas will have to get stops if they're going to win the game. And the question is about Kansas, can they get stops? And that's how they play ball right now. It's how Lance Leipold is building the program. They've got all the offensive weaponry. He's got all those fun, interesting, intricate pre-snap, fun run fits and everything. Like, it's so much fun to watch them, but they're not exactly on the top of the Big 12 charts when it comes to defense. And so how do they create third and long situations in the second half and actually get stops? They're going to have to get to 38 or 42 points to win the game because I don't think they can keep Oklahoma under 40.
I think if you trust one defense in this game, now last week's big plays aside, I think it's Oklahoma. To your point on Kansas, they are 13th in the Big 12 in third down defense. Oklahoma's been better in the red zone. They're giving up 6 yards a play compared to 5.1 for Alabama. Kansas has had trouble stopping. Kansas has had trouble stopping the run as well. So I think you could I hate to simplify it, but it's almost Kansas and Oklahoma both have enough offensive firepower to where it should be a very high scoring game. It's probably going to come down to these stops that we mentioned here, third downs, red zone, whatever it is.
Yep.
You trust Oklahoma. Now, if Jalon Daniels plays, this game gets a little bit more interesting. I think Kansas is going to play well, but I think Oklahoma, if you in a game where one or two stops might matter, I like the Sooners to get it done.
And a wake-up call last week, of course, for Oklahoma. I said all summer, I picked Kansas to win this game outright. That was with Jalon Daniels. So if Jalon Daniels plays, I will pick Kansas to win outright. He's not playing 45-35, Oklahoma. Not enough stops. And here's what's ironic, and I love football so much that this is what happens. Watch Oklahoma go on like a 14-play, 8-minute drive in the fourth quarter to milk the clock down to nothing and win easily because Kansas can't get them off the field on 3rd and 3. Right. So it's a high scoring game with two great offenses. And then it comes down to the fact that one team can methodically milk the clock in the fourth quarter and you can't get them off the field. So I'll take Oklahoma, but I don't like it. I don't like that I'm picking Oklahoma. I had the Jayhawks all summer. I wish I could stick with it, but no starting quarterback changes my opinion. Although Jason Bean's pretty good. So
yeah, Jason Bean is pretty good. Wouldn't it be fun if Lance Leipold is just playing possum on all of us and Jalon Daniels trots out there, right before the first snap and takes it for Kansas and plays well? That would be fun. But I think without him and the defensive edge, I like Oklahoma in this one.
Yeah, I do as well.